What's up, Borough podcast fans? How the fuck are you? Hope you guys are doing awesome. Hope you are ready to laugh your goddamn balls off. If you have balls. If you don't, you can pretend like you do. We got a real funny episode coming up. This is hopefully the first of many episodes of what we are calling our little offshoot, the Bouncer Chronicles. As most of you know, myself, Yarbs, D-Rock, Eric, and Skanga either all bounce or have previously bounced. If you don't know much about bouncing, there are usually a shit ton of funny stories that happen that a lot of normal people don't get to see because they're just not in the loop. So we have one of our good friends, Sam Stramiello, on to discuss some of his exploits in bouncing with us, without us. It's pretty goddamn funny, actually. But before we get into that, let's rip through these ads real quick. First up is Municipal Land Survey. You can reach them at 631-345-2658 for all your land surveying needs. You want to put up a fence, a pool, your neighbors encroaching on what you believe to be your property and you need to find out. These are the people to call. We also brought to you by AS Engineering Services. You can reach them at 631-560-0259 or at asengineeringservices.com. And for all you retards out there, that's www.asengineeringservices.com. They are a full-service engineering architectural firm. They do rebuilds, complete new construction. Really, check out their website. They do some amazing projects. I highly recommend it if you're kind of geeky like me and are into architecture and things of that nature. Just the sheer engineering and magnificence of it. It's really quite amazing, some of the stuff they do. And then last but not least, guys, we have a new sponsor to the podcast. This one is actually pretty near and dear to my heart because it's actually my company. If you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I've been a big advocate of the ketogenic diet for a while now, and being as such, I've decided to start a meal prep service called Keto Fresh. We're just getting off the ground here. So far we've had a couple of test runs. People seem to really like it, so I got big hopes for this one. You guys can follow along at keto.fresh.ny on Instagram. It's the best way to do it, and once we are fully out and open to the public, there'll be a big announcement, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So here is episode 1 of the Bouncer Chronicles with our good buddy Sam. Alright guys, we're live. Let's get into it.
Borough podcast. D-Rock.
Yarbs.
Eric.
Skanga.
We have a special guest.
Sam.
We're doing something new tonight. We're going to try out an idea we had called the Bouncer Chronicles. It's going to kind of be an offshoot to our normal podcast. Since a lot of us are bouncers or former bouncers, we have a lot of interesting stories, and Sam is pretty prominent in the security scene. He's worked at a lot of prominent bars on the island.
He's the best at it.
He's got a wealth of stories.
Say that.
So we're going to kick it off with Sam. So how long have you been bouncing for?
Started on my 21st birthday, and I just turned 36 in April, and it's taking a toll.
So you haven't retired yet.
Every year I say, this is my last year, except this summer on Fire Island. This is it. Every year I get sucked back in. Because, let's face it, the fuck else am I going to do? Sit at home and get fat?
You might as well sit at the bar and get fat.
Fuck that, I'm better than those people. I get paid to kick them out. I'm not being mediocre and desperate. It's not going to happen, ever.
So you've worked at some...
right here.
Love it, buddy.
Don't touch me. Not after that. We're fighting down.
Well, you're fine, Skanga, because you also do security, so you get the pass. You can be fat and hang out.
But there's that slippery slope.
Whoop. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm
absolutely.
the worst person at the bar the nights I'm not working.
The second the second you become boring, you're gone.
Never gonna happen.
right now you're still the most entertaining person in the bar, whether you have a security shirt on or not. So.
Last Saturday proved that point.
Right. Well, that's for another story time. Though. Let's stick to you, Sam.
Okay.
I mean, so without giving away the farm, I know a bunch of bars you worked at. You worked at a pretty prominent bar in Babylon.
Yep.
You work at a bar on the beach.
Where have you worked in the past? That's what I want to know. Like, over the years, what are the historical places? I'm sure a lot of them have closed down, as Long Island bars do. Usually we got, like, what, a 3-year half-life for most of them?
I started off at a shithole in Massapequa. I'm not going to say names. I was training with the head bouncer there. He was he did Filipino martial arts.
Malaysian ground karate?
Essentially, yes.
He's like a Ninja Turtle.
I was 21, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. He's like, hey, you want to make $150? I thought he was propositioning me for sex. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Were you going to do it?
He just opened his mouth.
$250. So I was like, fuck it, I need money. Had no idea what was going on. Little did I know this place was they mopped up the fucking eyeballs at the end of the night. Like, it was like the goddamn double deuce from Roadhouse. That's how I started bouncing. Did that for a month or two. Kind of bounced from place to place, no pun intended. Wound up at a really, really, really busy last call bar in Babylon. This was...
What is a last call bar?
It's the last bar of the night that's open where all the people drag society just converge, and it's either
the people that have either already been kicked out of another bar or the lights have been turned on and you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on there? Just get out. Go.
It's the bar that stays open longer than all the other bars.
Right.
So all the pieces of shit
That's
go
like
there.
the bar I worked at in Sable before we remained nameless.
the mentality of the the people that would come to this bar where I'm either getting late or getting into a fight.
I feel like that's your mentality also when you're working.
Used to be when I was younger. Yeah, but
Mentality when it wake up.
when they wanted to fight, then we would definitely oblige. That's when you could still beat the shit out of people and not worry about lawsuits.
When I first started bouncing at a bar on the beach, one of my first major holiday weekends, there was an incident, and a gentleman got hurt, and I was nervous about it. And Vinny pulled me to the side and was like, listen, don't worry about it. And I was like, well, I don't have a security license yet or anything like that. I'm like, I was like real worried. He's like, listen, I have a friend named Sam who hurts people on purpose most nights. Worse than what just happened. He goes, and nothing's happened to him. In fact, he's working next week. You'll be fine. Little did I know that I actually already knew you too.
Yeah,
We met in a laundromat.
Yeah, it was pretty weird, but whatever. So, the reason why I got fired from said bar in Babylon so many years ago, I was actually the head bouncer there for like 4 years, and there might have been a night where I lost my temper, broke a guy's collarbone, and then broke another guy's nose. My only issue was it was on camera. So, the manager the next week, the owner was like, oh, you're a thug. What am I going to do with you? I go, I'm a fucking bouncer. What do you expect?
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
What'd you hire me for?
What do you want me to do? Fucking kiss the guy?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe after you break his collarbone, yeah.
It's gonna make you feel better.
Whatever. He was just being a fucking pussy. He probably wasn't even broken that much. Like a little bit.
That much.
Only a little broken. Hairline fracture at the
Some
most.
minor break.
So that was, 4 years. Then I went to the beach. I filled in that summer, and you got hurt.
Yeah, you filled in for me when I got hurt.
You hurt your shoulder. And I filled in basically the whole summer, and instead of me going back and being the filling guy, I basically told him I'm going to work here every weekend. And
because
that's how that worked out.
I was out for a couple weeks, and then I came back, and I was still working, and so were you, and I was like, all right, I guess you're in.
I feel like that's how I started working too, because you hurt your knee, and you were supposed to be out all summer, and I started working, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not leaving.
That's when I thought I had torn my ACL, and it turned out it was just, I'd sprained like every ligament in my knee, but I was freaking out because I was on crutches for like a week and a half. I couldn't.
Was that the time when I would carry you up and down the stairs?
It is.
Yeah.
Like a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a bride?
Right.
Yeah. We got real dramatic with it on purpose. He was like, I want to carry you around like you're my bride. And like really ham it up so I'd get my dick sucked out of sympathy.
I watched you get it sucked so many times that summer.
Yeah, it's true.
It is what it is, bro.
I did get a sympathy blowjob from being on crutches, so it worked out.
Yeah. He was cute, too.
Still got those crutches.
Still got those crutches. So, yeah. And,
is that the cold streak breaker? Just take out the crutches?
So do you want me to just kick you in the leg this
I wasn't
summer?
on a cold streak, but Thanks, guys.
No.
So for everyone listening, a bunch of the guys here all work at the same bar, which will remain nameless, but it's on Fire Island.
I mean, you worked there too.
There was one day where all of us were working together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I work there. I work there once a year to remind myself why I don't bounce anymore.
And honestly, that place, one of the better places I've ever worked. And I mean, I've worked.
It's a lot of fun.
I've worked, the city, North Shore, South Shore, strip clubs, dive bars, nice clubs with VIP. I mean, granted, we make a ton of money there. That's the saving grace, but it's not the worst.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Great. You guys are the ones I'm trying to hang out with every other day.
I mean, do you
So,
blame us?
Yeah, might as well make money together and hang
I mean,
out.
we're there every weekend in tight quarters, and then basically hang out at your house all week because it's like the Dave Della Rocca House of Wayward Boys and Street Toughs.
Dead end boys that don't live on a dead end.
At any time, you'll either see me, Mike, Luigi, hanging out.
There's always somebody there.
Somebody
The
awesome.
rest of us live there.
Yeah.
So, 21, working at your first bar.
Scared shitless.
What, other than the money, obviously, right? What made you stay? Because I know everybody here has their own reasons for bouncing. Don't get me wrong, we're all friends, so it's easier to work with all your friends and get paid to hang out. But at that point, I don't think you're working with your friends. So what made you stay besides having no other options? Because you're obviously not smart.
Smart enough to be on this podcast with you guys. I was the first month I worked, I was fucking scared. I was 180 pounds soaking wet. Like, have I gotten into street fights? Yeah, in fucking high school. That doesn't count. But you get comfortable. You meet people. You get paid. You make some of the best friends I've ever made were through bouncing. So that, and I think I was about a month in. And I just one night, this big guy, probably 6'4", 6'5", 3 and change. I beat the ever-loving shit out of him, and I didn't get in trouble. And I said, oh, this is great.
It's the best thing ever.
Girls,
Really
money,
Violence.
you get used to it. And through I would say my late 20s, it was great. I mean, it was just great. I worked all these places, had fun, met people. And now that I'm, I'm 36.
You're on the dark side of your 30s.
The dark side of my 30s right now. It's tough, man. Standing outside in the cold every weekend. Because, we don't get to work at the beach all year and it gets fucking brick.
And even sometimes at the beach.
Yeah.
It's fucking cold.
All right, but you didn't answer my question.
What was your question? What made me stay?
What made you
said he
decide to
wasn't
stay?
that smart.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for proving my
I
point.
went off on a tangent.
Let's wrap this fucking thing up. We're done here.
Money.
Okay.
Money, bro. That's it. That's
Money over
cash. You name me another place where you make anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month cash. And not really, I don't have to lift anything heavy. I don't really
Well,
have
if you
to.
kick out, if you fuck a fat chick or kick out a fat guy, you do.
But that's the only heavy lifting.
All right.
I'm not taking it's money.
Yeah.
And the fat chick might lift you.
That's true.
Only if she's a college hockey player.
Yeah.
All right, so I think everybody here probably has one notable story from their time working, right? Like the one that sticks out the most in your mind. That's either the funniest, the weirdest, the most violent, whatever. So give me the funniest thing that you've seen, because we've all seen some shit. Like for me, one of the funniest things I saw was a woman in this bar in like, I don't know, must have been 6 o'clock in the afternoon, decided to just start blowing a guy at the bar. And
Yeah.
Well, it was light out.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, starts blowing this guy, and we ask her to leave, and she's like, "Why do I have to leave?" I'm like, "You can't fucking start blowing a guy at 6 o'clock."
Yeah, we leave blowjobs for after 10.
Yeah,
There's
and I was
kids
like,
around.
Go to a
yeah.
fucking corner or a bathroom.
I said to her, "I'm like, there's
Animal.
there's kids here." She goes, "Well, kids don't belong in a bar." I'm like, "You're right. You're absolutely right.
These
But
are
also,
wrong.
you sucking
Yeah.
a dick in the middle of the bar doesn't belong either." So
I'm
that's why you
more
have to
okay
leave.
with that than the kids at the bar. I'd rather.
I agree.
If we had to flip a coin and one, we were like, all right, we're gonna
Suck all the
decide.
dicks you want, keep the kids out.
Yeah, keep the kids
In a row.
out.
I agree. I definitely agree, but I don't make the
We
rules.
should make it a mainstay. Like, if you're a woman and you come to a bar, you have to give a blowjob.
I mean,
That's the cover.
We should make.
What's the cover for? This lady's gonna blow you.
I remember when that happened though, because I was hanging out that day and I was hammered and I was so pissed.
That it wasn't you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was furious.
I
I remember
would've-
the guy leaving. I was like, dude, you're not even good looking. What the fuck happened?
Neither was she.
She was gross.
Was she?
She was.
I don't remember her. I just remember yelling.
When's the last time you've seen like a real hot girl just start giving out blowjobs in broad daylight?
Yeah.
I've seen some fatties start giving them
It's
out.
always not
that's
a
my point.
and not a
That's
good looking one. It's either a
point.
big, great, big fatso or just a butterfaced trash bag.
She was gross.
She was gross. So
Somebody still fucked her though.
yeah. So what? Give me your funniest.
So many. There's just so many weird ones.
Well, fucking pick one, asshole.
I'll pick a one relating to poo because it's very funny.
I like poop stories.
You like poop stories? I got a good poop story for you.
I got a couple poop stories too, so let me hear yours. I want to know your poop stories.
So I was working at a very, very, very busy club on the North Shore in Port Jeff. I worked there for about 4 years. I basically ran the dance floor, like I was on stage just judging everybody.
Is this place still open?
It is still open.
Okay.
I remember visiting.
For Jeff?
Yes.
All right. I think everyone will be able to narrow it down since we're not mentioning it. Older crowd?
50-50.
50-50. Okay,
It's
I know
not-
what you're
yeah.
talking about. Across the street from the older crowd.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not the Cougar Den.
So basically, I'm there. I'm on stage. It's 11 o'clock at night. So you're thinking it's not that we don't get busy till 12. We get that 600 person rush from 12 till 3. So I'm hanging out, and one of the female bartenders goes, "Hey, like, I need help in the bathroom." I'm thinking, lucky night, let's go. Work. No such luck. She's like, "I just walked in to the bathroom, and there's this woman shitting on the floor. She's in the middle of the by the sinks, just skirt up." Dropping poo all over the place. Like, I'm like, "Yo, what did you eat? Mexican food?" She's like, "Ugh." So she couldn't even answer. Her eyes were pinned. So I'm like, "Oh, this bitch probably gonna blow all night. Just cut with baby aspirin or some shit like that, or laxative." So I'm like, "Can you stop doing that?" So the bartender was like throwing wet napkins at her to stop her shitting. So she looks at me. She goes, "It's not the first time I've done this." Took it, threw it against the wall, and ran out.
Wow.
I'm glad you didn't throw it at me.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, you go big.
So she was just making eye contact while shitting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, when you let a dog out, it looks at you when it pees sometimes? Basically that. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I look at her, and, like, I was disgusted, and it smelled so bad. And the weird thing was, she wasn't an ugly woman.
Oh.
Nice dressed, had those Manolo Blahniks on.
Oh.
Just spray shitting.
Was it J-Lo?
It was not J-Lo. I just was so upset. And then when she looked at me and said, "It's not the first time," I was like, wow, this is a fucking, big ring, someone's married to this woman. Like, do you shit in your house like that? I'm watching fucking TV. I just take a dump on the couch.
Well,
She got up, grabbed a little portion of doo-doo and threw it against the wall. So, there's that.
So did you follow her out of the stall?
She wasn't in the stall. She was on the floor.
Like in front of the sink.
She was like, say there's a row of sinks. There's the row of stalls. She was
Okay.
catty corner, like against the last sink, just shitting, like almost under the
Did
sink.
you follow her out of the bathroom?
Yeah.
So what happened then?
She left.
She just left?
She
so
just
she
left.
shit and left the
So
bar?
she essentially...
After you hurl shit against the wall,
There's not...
I mean,
that's a
do
good
you-
call right
yeah.
there. It's like,
that's like
Do you...
I mean, I was curious. I just,
Well, do you at that point, do you want to engage physically while she has shit smeared on her hands?
well, that's why I was asking you.
No, I just was like, "Are you leaving now?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm done."
That's the ultimate trump card. Like if you're going to attack someone and then they have shit on their hands, you just like back. You start running.
Like, you don't even want to kick them in the chest because they might hit your foot with doo-doo.
Then you got to
It was
throw out
early,
those
then you'd have
shoes.
doo-doo on you all night.
I just remember getting really fucked up that night and just forgetting the whole thing happened.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
At that point.
That's one of the last times I think I got drunk, which is like 4 or 5 years ago.
I know I'm
With
not
the exception
only
of a couple
one
times.
thinking this. Was she hot?
I said she was attractive, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I
Yeah,
missed
put
that
together,
part.
nice
Yeah.
clothes, nice shoes, big rock, like...
Big
maybe-
cock, too?
Dude, if she would have had a dick, it probably would have been more acceptable. She's like, "Oh, she's a guy, she's a fucking animal." But she's this nice-looking woman just making doo-doo on the ground.
I think I love her.
I mean,
So that's the funniest?
that's the weirdest.
Okay.
I mean, I guess one of the funniest ones was at the beach bar. Was that last year? When the guy called me and he was socialist for we telling him we couldn't leave with a drink, and then he was wearing like work boots and these little like.
Is that the guy with the mustache? He had
Yeah.
the sick dick broom.
So I was like, "Yo, sick dick broom, bro." He starts talking shit to me. I go, "You're talking shit to me. You're wearing fucking boots with shorts. Your argument
Jean
is
shorts, right? Were they
no,
shorts?
they were like silkies, like the PT silkies.
Yeah.
They were like that, but a little longer.
Okay.
So I said, anything you say is invalid because you're wearing fucking motorcycle boots and shorts. Like, you're one step away from making like a fucking circus seal under the stairs with somebody. Get the fuck out of here.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There's so many funny ones, though.
Ergot, I'm real interested to hear your counter
Yeah.
poop story.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I have a few, but I'll tell one of the more entertaining ones first. I was working at a club which is now out of business. It was called Mirage, or it might have been called Glow at the time. And I had a friend, I'm going to use his real name, but I won't say his last name. His name was Chris.
Not me.
No, not Yarborough. It was another Chris. And there was a real drunk lady that was with a group of friends, and they all had a table. They were very like Nassau County Jappy-ish, like that's Jewish American princess, like
My people.
decked out to the nines, dressed in high heels and really nice dresses, wearing jewelry. And one of their friends, one of the females at their table, had just had too much and she had to go home. She drank way too much. So we go to escort her out, and she was too drunk to walk. So my buddy Chris picked her up and put her over his shoulder. I was like, oh, I'll carry her out. And this girl was dressed, she had her hair done, she had a nice necklace on, nice bracelet, a bunch of rings, super nice shoes, just like all put together, a nice little black dress, nice and short.
Like she planned coming out there.
Oh, she looked real
She
good.
looked like $1 million.
Yeah, that was the best her that she could have possibly been. Definitely like an 8.5 to 9 on like a hard scale. She was definitely hot. So it was a pretty big club, so we're like, I'm sort of walking in front, like pushing the people out of the way, like, oh, coming through. My buddy's carrying this girl over her shoulder, and then there's like 3 or 4 girls that are like following us out. So we get out to the front, and they had already sent somebody out front to get their car from the valet, so the valet had the car up front by the time we had gotten there. And my buddy Chris leans over to put her in the car, and all of a sudden we just hear like this crazy, weird, like groaning fart noise. And we're just like, we didn't really know who it was. I thought it was my friend Chris at first, and I wasn't really like thinking about it. And then he leans over to put her in a car. So imagine she's got a dress on, and he's like holding her over his shoulder and like sort of like holding her like a baby.
I know it's
And
going to
then
happen.
to put her into the car, and this girl just shits all over his leg and his shoes.
Oh, my God.
Like right into his crotch, basically.
Did he vomit on contact, or did he, like, throw her in the...
Well, we didn't know until, like, this was all, like, it's at a club, there's music coming out the front of the club. We didn't really understand or realize what happened until he stood up. And her friends are sort of like, oh, thank you for helping us. And he looks down and he sees, I didn't even notice it at first until he noticed it. And I just see him looking at his crotch, and right where his, like, junk is, all down his left leg and onto his shoe, are the Hershey squirts. And basically looked like if somebody had taken like a container of Hershey syrup and just shot it all over his crotch and then dripped it down his leg onto his shoe. And all of her friends started immediately, like, some of them were laughing, some of them were like just horrified in sheer terror, just with this horrible look on their face. And this girl, her shit like all over, like her legs now, was like laying in the back seat of one of their cars. It was an Infiniti. I'll never forget. It was like a black Infiniti, and you just were just partially mortified, partially entertained, and I don't know how else you'd describe it.
What did your buddy do? Like, what do you do from there?
Well,
Take
we
the
all
night off and X for a reason.
yeah. He went home.
Cry?
He took his pants off and then drove home in his socks and his with no pants on. I guess his boxer shorts. I don't remember
I
what
would
he
have
was wearing.
thrown everything out.
Yeah, I
Or
don't know
rub
what
their
you
face
do
in it
after
like
you
a
get
dog.
after you get
Yeah,
shit on. I don't know. I mean, it's the ultimate one up. If you're trying to like one up someone else, you can shit on them.
I guess. I got another good one. It's involving sex. You want to hear it?
Duh.
Of course.
All right, so
the whole premise of this
same-
podcast.
Fuck yeah, what the fuck you think we're doing
Is
here?
it the same story, but he bangs her?
No, it was me. I did. I'm into that doo-doo stuff. No, so same club. Anytime you have a club that'll service anywhere between 500 and 700 people a night, you're bound to get some fucking winners.
Oh yeah.
So there was on the stage, dance floor, the bar. To my right is an extra dining area. We used it for VIP every once in a while.
VIP.
VIP.
In air quotes.
Yeah, air quotes. So that's where we used to take the piano and put it in the back because that was on the stage because we had the stupid piano guy before the DJ started. So I see a flashlight. So a lot of bouncers will communicate if we have either earpieces or flashlights. If you don't want to freak anyone out, you get the double click. So, you know, I'm getting a double click, and I look, and I can't see anything except the click, click, click from the flashlight. And I started getting mad. Because, let's face it, I don't have the greatest temper, and I don't have the most patience of anybody.
What?
So I storm in, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So, this kid, I didn't see, the two people were banging, they were pretty much wearing all black. This kid had a girl bent over the piano, and I mean, judging by her face, it probably wasn't that good. So, I'm looking, I'm like, wait, they're having sex. So before I say anything, my buddy who was at the upstairs bar was watching it on the camera, radios to me, let him go another 30 seconds. So,
Was he trying to finish?
probably, he was fucking weird.
Wait, your buddy was trying to finish.
No, well, no, he was upstairs just...
I'm going up there.
He meant the guy fucking. No,
Prob-
your buddy was trying to
fuck-
finish.
yeah.
I mean, it was late. It was like 1:30 in the morning, so the chance of either of them finishing, because they were both fucking alcoholics, probably were slim to none.
I know somebody like that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking right at me.
So, my buddy from up, you know, the upstairs bar, give him 30 seconds. This is real fucking creepy, and I'm into it. Neither of the people that were in the act of sex were attractive. They looked like, you know, like, oh, it's a face a mother could love. So, she's not making any noise, so finally I put the lights up. I'm like, will you two fucking stop and let's go? She looks. We caught the same girl sucking a dude's dick in the hallway of another bathroom on the other side of the bar the week before. The guy pulls out, you know, you're looking, the littlest dick I've ever seen on a grown man. Like, I feel like he used an eye patch as an athletic cup. Like, it was fucking weird. So, it's me, and by that time, it's the head bouncer, who's a retired city cop who is a lunatic. And I look at him, he goes, oh, that's why she wasn't making any noise. I was like, is that real? I was like, are you a girl with a big clit? Like, what is going on? He then pulled his pants up and ran out, and she just kind of stayed there and then ran out. That was that story. She wasn't making noise because he had a little button dick.
Button dick?
Button on fur coat.
Yeah, dude, it looked like a fucking giant clit. No, it was weird. It was like, it wasn't like long. It was like half a knuckle, and you know, I guess it's not the size, but how you use it. But that's like trying to.
How do you even use that? Like,
You know
what
what?
do
I'm
this?
proud of him for doing it in public.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you got one that little, you know, like, why
Well,
take the chance of other people seeing
I was like, did you have an accident when you were little? And I kept asking him questions about his little dick, and he was getting really mad.
Well, yeah.
Well, don't fuck someone in public if you have a tiny penis.
Yeah, don't pull it out then.
I mean, you got a point.
I mean, if it was huge, I would have been like, dude, that thing's like the size of a fucking horse. It's ridiculous.
It's just commentary. It's commentary.
Yeah. So
You gotta
he
expect it
got
if you're gonna have
upset
sex.
and ran out. She
Public.
kind of just sauntered out, not like she did anything wrong. But then again, she got caught sucking a dick the week before. So
did you guys let her in for free every time?
Well, there was no
Because you
cover
knew
charge.
Someone was gonna get.
Get her number.
there's no cover charge.
She'd be perfect for her idea before. She's the girl who would suck everyone's dick all the time in the bar.
Yeah,
you could
but-
build a bar
No more
around her.
complaints about cover charge.
Yeah, you could build a bar around a girl like that.
I'm sure there's more of her out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gross. The shit, gross.
There's probably like way more of her. I'm sure she's got pregnant a couple times.
There's some
Too
young
much?
ones.
Someone's definitely given her plan B in the past. Ugh.
Let's be honest, if you're banging a girl in the bar of the piano, she was probably your plan C.
I would see a lot of, like, so there was a stage and people would sit on the stage, and I saw a lot of fingering and hand jobs too, just right in front of everybody. Like a girl would just make out with a guy and just start jerking it. And then the hands down the pants, like that vigorous, like when you're like dancing, just the fucking like the bowling ball.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
hot.
you were the champion of DJ booth hand jobs while there, no?
No.
I thought you got a bunch of handies in the DJ booth.
No, that was my buddy that I used to live with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
You play what?
somebody
You got,
else's-
you got a story you want to tell, Sky?
Oh, you have a good DJ booth story.
I don't know if I can tell that because my mom listens.
Followed up, dude. She knows you're a fucking degenerate.
Your mom knows that
You're
you've
probably
given
better
yourself the most hand jobs.
You're probably better off telling the story because if you don't at this point, then she's gonna think the absolute worst.
Then she's gonna think you're a pussy for not telling the story.
This is why I hate rompers. Actually, this is a romper story.
Yours was really hard to get off.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. It was 4th of July last year at this bar.
I remember this.
That was the next day was the best text ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it afterwards. Tell your story. I'm going to read that text afterwards.
I don't know. I still think I might hold the best text ever.
They're close. We'll compare them.
But yeah. Anyway, I may or may not have done drugs allegedly. I was wasted. For some reason, they still had me working, but there was only like regulars there and this girl. And I pretty much just like grabbed her a drink at the bar, started making out with her. Now we're in the DJ booth, messing around, and she was wearing a romper, and she was like, "I wish I was wearing a skirt so we could fuck back here." And I was like, "Well, just take off your romper, whatever." And oh, is that my text you're showing them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I ended up just getting an HJ in the DJ booth while everyone was outside dancing in the rain.
We got Johnny Boy _3 saying what's up.
Hey, that's my boy Johnny from work.
All right.
Or in high school, and we grew up with.
Nice.
This is the guy who came and got the keto meals the other day?
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, that guy's he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude. So we all wake up the next morning, and we get text from Skanga. I'll read it. It was at 4:03 p.m. on the 5th of July, 2016.
Made my day.
And it reads, I got a hand job in the DJ booth last night. The response is, by who? 3 question marks, exclamation. You're awesome. Did you come? Then I guess it took a while for him to respond, so the follow-up text was, you called? I'm home and getting shitty service. Skanga responds, yeah, I'm wasted in Ocean Beach and I want to tell you about last night. The response was, ha ha ha, give me detailed text, just all the good stuff. Skanga's response, whore, period. Kissed her before saying hello, period. Coke, pot cookie, boner, DJ booth, titties out, hand job. The most succinct,
That's a better way of
perfect
telling it
explanation.
than me telling the whole story. That was perfect. That was a good
It
thing.
does not get any better than that.
It's almost the 1-year anniversary. Never forget.
Maybe lightning will strike twice.
You
Be
think
back.
she'll come back to look for you?
Probably not with that.
Could you pick her out of a lineup? Do you even know what she looked like?
Unless she's wearing a black romper.
Now, even better is that you got paid for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's best. Bouncing is the best job ever.
It really is.
Can I read your text to compare? It was a pretty good text. We don't have to give the context behind it, but
That's a no face.
no. All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So I have 2 texts saved from these guys because they were both pretty awesome. So Yarborough had just moved in. For those that don't know, Skanga, Yarborough, and I all live together. Yarbs had just moved in. He'd only been there.
Too much background. Come on, get
All
to the message.
So I gotta find it. Hold on. I can't.
This is lost. You're looking for text messages from a year ago?
No, I took a picture of it because I'm smart. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, a while ago.
7:29 a.m. Sorry about coming in your room ass naked last night. I was slightly drunker than I thought. And yeah, that happened. ABC. And ABC stands for Always Be Closing. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I
There's a naked giant in your room?
there's a naked giant in my room and it's just a silhouette. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm looking for the toilet.
And I
Worst
had
nightmare.
laundry, I had a laundry basket on my floor, and he was like reaching into it. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, sorry," and runs out of my room. So I woke up to that text the next morning. I was like, this is the best text message ever.
That's great.
But yeah, a couple weeks later, Skango followed up with that text message. So it was a pretty good month of texts.
It was a good summer.
Yeah, it was good.
I love bouncing.
So,
Bouncing loves you too.
any other follow-up sex stories here? I got a pretty good
Yeah,
one.
there's. You tell yours, and I'll. It's so many.
This one's recent, so
So many.
this one's fairly recent. We work at a bar, actually very close by to where we are right now. So I'd seen this guy and this girl kind of making out on the dance floor, and I'm standing. And if you guys are all familiar, like as a bouncer, you're always like on some kind of elevated thing, and usually by the DJ booth, whatever. So I'm standing on the speakers by the DJ booth, so I'm looking down the crowd, and this dude and this chick are making out in front of me, getting after it a little bit. So I'm like, all right. And I look over, and he's like behind her, and he starts shoving his hands down her pants. So I like get down. I'm like, hey man, you can't fucking do that shit here. Like, this is not your room.
It's a restaurant.
Yeah. I'm like, cut it out. And he just like looks at me, and he's obviously loaded. So he looks at you with like that, just dumb blank stare, like he's not even listening to you. So they go into the back side of the bar, and I grab another bouncer, and I tell them like, hey, keep an eye out, because I saw them kind of getting after it. So literally like 10 minutes later, the other bouncer runs over. This guy is like 2 fingers deep in this broad at the bar. But she's pressed up on the bar, facing the bar, and he's behind her. Like,
So she had a skirt on.
no, she didn't
What a pig.
unbutton her pants, but he's like grinding on her, fucking
the mouse.
double clicking it knuckles deep. And we run over like, listen, dude, like, this isn't your fucking bedroom. This isn't a hotel room. Cut it out. Like, still giving him a pass almost. We walk away. We go maybe, 3 or 4 feet. And we turn around, and his finger right back there. I'm like, what the fuck? So we go to drag this kid out. And the girl was like, she goes, you couldn't just let him finish up? We're like,
Fucking
no.
real class.
She owned it. She owned being a pig.
Yeah. And
Good for
I
her.
think he knew the bartender, so the bartender starts yelling at him. We push him out the door. He starts mouthing off to the other bouncer, and he's like, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to kick your fucking ass because you broke up my party or some bullshit. And it was real uneventful after that, but just the fact that the girl asked to let him finish.
That would have been great if he like fish hooked her as you guys are dragging him out.
Was he from the front, or did he go under
No, it was
like
a
a
reach
bowling
around.
ball? Nice.
So she was pressed up belly to the bar, facing the bar, and he was behind her with his belly to her back, reaching around, just fucking
Playing DJ.
trumping her.
Playing
hard.
DJ.
That's the most recent one.
People are slobs. I love it. Fuck that shit.
Savages.
That's what I live for.
I had a group at CPI, which was a really big nightclub in the Hamptons that closed down. What do you think that closed down, like 10 years ago?
So long, dude. 12, 15 probably.
Yeah, it was probably close to 15 years ago.
Closed down a while ago, and this was probably like the first time I encountered somebody actually having sex in the club, like a patron. I was in my early 20s, it was probably 21 or 22. Yeah, so this had to be 12, 14 years ago. And they had a VIP area there. There was like a section of the club called The Circle. The club was huge. There were like 4 or 5 rooms there. It fit a couple thousand people in it at capacity. And in one of the VIP areas, like one of the patrons came to get me. That they like had a table there, and they're like, "There's some people at this table, and they're doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing." It was a woman, and she was like,
Stuff.
she was like all upset.
Did you know it was sex stuff, or did you think it was drugs at first?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know what it was, because usually drugs at that place, it was just sort of like that's what happens, and
Yeah.
like, you expected to see that. So I didn't know what was going on. I figured it was like going to be like a fight or people weren't getting along. So I go up there, and there's this fat pig of a white girl, like real big, like at least 2 bills, and like looked
The
like a
standard Sex in the Club perpetrator.
looked like a pear.
Yeah.
She looked like shaped like a pear, wearing one of those tops that's like real frilly around the midsections. to
So it
cover up
covers
the
her fat,
barbell.
but it doesn't
Yeah,
work
it
because
doesn't
she's
work.
a fucking built like a garbage
Everyone
can.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. If you're wearing that shirt, you're hiding that lard belt under there.
And you're probably sucking some gross dude's dick in the club.
Yep.
It's gonna happen.
I feel like this is where the high-waisted shorts phenomenon came from. They were like, well, this isn't working. Let's try out a new trick.
Yeah,
Let's
but
pull our shorts up to our belly buttons.
Make it even worse, though.
This girl wasn't fitting any.
1 out of
any
100 looks
short.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This girl wasn't fitting in any type of shorts. That's how big it was. She needed a tent. She needed like a tent. And so I walk up there, and they're sitting on this like little couch, this love seat, and the dude's got his like drawers like down around his knees, and he's still wearing his boxer shorts. So he was like
Pulled it out.
He was pretty cool in that respect, but he had his dick hanging out of his fly, and this girl was like blowing him.
Full bore, just going.
It was like watching a porno video with ugly fat people. So I walk up there, and I'm just like, I didn't really know what to do. It was my first time ever encountering this. So I just watched for like probably the better part of like a minute, because I thought at some point that they would like see me and like be like, oh shit, we're not supposed to do this. And then I'd like either just be like, hey, stop, or I'd like ask them to leave. I wasn't even sure what I was going to do yet.
Well, the reaction sometimes to that is real fucking violent when you tell someone to stop.
Well, I just sort of sat there, and I wasn't like mad at them. I was sort of like interested as a voyeur, from like a voyeuristic
Oh, absolutely.
How could you not? I mean,
This is where my fascination with watching ugly people make out came from, is bouncing. I'll send people videos of just animals going at it, and you can't...
they go at it. They go at it. Because they're not used to getting it.
Yeah. It's
And they're drunk, and it's just like, oh, just plow horse, and it's gross. But yeah, that's where my watching gross people make out came from.
So this big girl is blowing this dude on the couch, and finally he like looks up at me, and then just like looks back down and like gets back into it, like as if I'm not standing there with like I was shining my flashlight on him at that point, and doesn't really acknowledge me. I was expecting to get at least like a head nod or something like that, just like, yeah, I see you there, or all right, I'm gonna tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, next.
I didn't get it, so I was like, yo, and I gave him like a little kick. I kicked him in his leg. So then he like looked up at me
Like you're the asshole.
like I was doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was like, yo, my man, you can't do that here. You gotta put it away. And she like, I guess, realized that I was like talking to them, and then like looked up at me. I was like, yo, you can't do that. And I gave him like the no sign, like waving my hand back and forth. No, that's no good. This is not good. And that's all I was thinking. This is bad. I don't want to see this. This is bad for everyone.
But you didn't want to stop watching.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
but I
I
knew
know.
that I wouldn't go back to that. Like the other customers were pissed, and everybody spent like a few $100 to a few grand on a table, and like nobody wants to see like two fat ugly people fucking blowing each other after you drop 2 G's on your fucking table.
now how do you think people would respond if there were two like good-looking people going?
Maybe
Video.
They'd love it.
they might have
You
paid
think
more.
they tip?
They might have paid more.
Video.
Maybe that's something that they
Does
should
this happen all the
explore.
time? Like, can we pay extra for it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that they should explore more in like future business models moving forward in the nightclub industry. Maybe the clubs would be doing a little bit better.
Well,
than
I mean,
they
we
are.
just covered 2 of them.
Yep.
Blowjobs.
Voyeuristic fucking
Voyeuristic.
yeah.
So these two, I finally get them. I'm like, yo, you guys gotta fucking stop. And the dude's like, yo, give me 1 minute, and we're done. We're done. So I like give them a second, like turn around, and I like go back to the table that the lady was at that came and got me, because she was actually sort of hot, and she was older, and she had that like rich look to her. She was like in her like late 30s, early 40s, dressed real nice, like had her shit together.
Sugar mama status.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like 22, like 21 years old, 22 years old, trying to like make that car insurance payment. So I'm like, let me go tell her everything's going to be all right. I'm going to comfort her a little bit. So I walk back over. I'm like, oh, I cleaned it up over there. It's all taken care of. So I turned around to go look to like see. Hopefully they would like skirt off. Oh, they didn't have armbands either, so they weren't even supposed to be in the VIP area to begin with. So that was like another thing. So I turned back around, and they're still over there going at it, like as if nothing had happened. Now he's got his hand on the back of her head, and like he's like they're like really into it. This
Bulldozing.
is like, yeah.
Just sculling the shit out of
They're
her.
putting work in. She's getting sweaty. So
That's because she was fat.
She was already
Yeah.
sweating before it happened.
she may have been already
Her
sweaty.
belly button probably stunk.
Oh, big girl undies on too, probably. Nothing sexy about that.
So now I'm like a little bit pissed. And when I was in my 20s, I was like very, very vindictive, and I had a much higher level of anger than I do now. A much higher
That's
level.
possible?
Yeah, I had a much higher level of anger than like everybody else I knew, except maybe Sam. So I like
better now.
thinking about how to approach this. Like, one thing you never want to do as a man is wrestle with another naked man.
Unless you're Greek.
Yeah, I guess unless you're Greek. But so
Yeah.
I didn't want to like go over and like have to grab this guy, have his sloppy wet cock like possibly come in contact with my skin. So I walked over
I almost spit off you.
and I didn't really know what I was going to do while I was walking over, but I was like, I have to stop this. So the guy, he was like all sprawled out, laying with his like legs straight out on this couch, and this was like a nicer club where they made you wear like pants, and this guy obviously wasn't like well dressed. He wasn't one of like the upper echelon of people at the club. So he
Clearly,
had on,
if
like,
you're
no.
fucking getting your dick sucked by a fatty in the VIP,
He had-
you're probably in the lower third.
This guy had like real baggy black
Platos.
dress pants on. So I grabbed him by like the pants of his ankles, sort of like as if I was grabbing a gi in jiu-jitsu. So I grabbed him by like the cuff of his pants, and I just sort of like jerked him off the couch onto the floor.
You want to be careful with that.
So you finished where the fat girl started.
Let me show you how this is done, sister.
So you touched this guy while he was getting blown.
That counts as a threesome.
So I initiated the threesome by grabbing his ankle. And I pulled him off the couch onto the floor while this girl's mouth was still on his dick. And he falls on the floor, and he immediately begins to flail around. And all I'm thinking is, if I let this guy's leg go, he's going to stand up. And not only might he not try to punch me, which I wasn't like, I'm like used to people trying to punch me. I'm cool with that. But I just didn't know about that other variable of like the dick
Shooting the
hanging out.
fucking slime wave on you.
Yeah, I just didn't know what was going on. So I held onto his pants, and there was like a little 4-step going up to this VIP area. I just dragged him down the 4-step while he's like on the floor in like his dress clothes. And there were those doors that opened, like a set of double doors with the bar on it. So I just dragged him backwards, opened the door with like my butt by like hitting my butt on like the bar, the safety bar for the handicapped folks to get out. And then I dragged him down into the parking lot. It was like a little gravel. It was like another 2-step down, and I threw him into the dirt parking lot. And then the girl, she was like,
Is his dick still out?
Yeah, his dick was out the whole time.
Still hard?
I didn't notice.
Impressive.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it was less hard than when I initially grabbed his ankle.
What if it was more hard?
Should have been.
Then you could have made some money that night.
That's what he was looking for.
Well, I've
Just had a
broken,
threesome, so.
I've broken up other people in sexual acts where they've asked me if I wanted to join. That didn't happen in this one, so I'm assuming he wasn't into it.
Gotcha.
So
Maybe he just had a rape fantasy.
You just didn't know how to ask.
he just didn't know what to ask.
Don't we all?
So I ended up throwing this guy out into the dirt, and then the pig came out slightly after with like lipstick all over her face, and she was super, super sweaty. Like when you see like fat people sweat on like 100-degree like summer day, and you're just like, look
She
at their
probably
back sweat.
smelled so bad.
I can't imagine.
She
I
had
didn't get
dick
that
breath.
close. But
Shame and dick breath.
But she followed him out after. I don't know if she was in for like round 2. She just wanted to finish the job, but I didn't have to wrestle with her, which I was very lucky. I didn't have to wrestle with her. And then I got a standing ovation by the rest of the people that watched. So it made it all worth it.
You should have sat on the couch and pulled your dick out right after that. Be like, all right, who's up?
Yeah.
Anyone's a step up from that.
All right, so we covered shit stories, sex stories. Let's move on to the violence.
Best and worst part.
Let's hear it. Let's hear some of your best violent stories.
There's so many. I'll tell the first time I got sucker punched, we'll do that. We'll start with that one. That turned into a fucking giant melee. So, first of all, anyone who says, oh, I like getting hit in the face, you're a fucking liar, and you're a piece of shit.
There's two kinds of liars in this world, right? This is how I identify people. People who tell you tattoos don't hurt.
You're a
and that
liar.
They like
Yeah.
to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You're a liar.
They both...
Bullshit.
I'm covered,
Yeah.
and it hurts, and I got punched in the face, and it's awful.
Yeah.
So, this was the first actually big brawl I got into when I worked in Babylon about 12 years ago. Going to kick this guy out. Not particularly big. It was late. There was probably 150 people in the bar. So, I'm just like... He was just drunk, passing out. I think he threw up on the floor. So, it's just, let's go. So, I go to grab him, like, under his arm. I'm like, come on, let's go. Within 3 seconds of me touching him, I got blasted right behind the ear. So, that was horrible.
That's not a good spot to get hit in either.
Down, got up, because the guy was probably drunk that hit me, so he didn't hammer me that hard, but it was hard enough to fucking hurt.
Dude, behind the ears is not a good spot. That's how you get KO'd.
Yeah, so luckily the guy was drunk and probably missed the spot that he should have hit. So that turned into the other 4 bouncers just not even pushing through people. One jumped off the bar and he was 300 pounds. How he got up there, I don't know. That was my first bar brawl, and little did we realize that those 2 guys turned into a group of 15 or 16, and it was 4 bouncers and 2 bartenders. We beat the ever-loving shit out of these people. Like, there was 10 cop cars there. Just punching, kicking, kneeing. Probably bit someone.
Those
good brawl. The thumb poke and then the punch.
Those epic bar brawls are fucking great. Like a movie scene bar brawls.
Until you get hit with a bar stool.
Well, as long as
that's happened too, and it sucks. There's no winning side.
No, there's winning sides. When you don't get in trouble and you beat the shit out of a lot of people, you win.
I used to steal shoes. That was like my super move as a bouncer.
Yeah.
I would take people's shoes, and it didn't have to be both. Just one was enough. I just needed them to go home with one shoe.
Did you hit them with the shoe?
I used to, if we were outside, I would throw them on the roof. Or at this club ice, I used to tie the shoelaces together and hang them on the awning in the front as like my
like the ghetto when someone gets shot, like the ghetto.
Yep. Like Dolph Lundgren in Universal Soldier when he makes the ear necklace.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
I
great.
had my shoe collection. Good night. There'd be 2 or 3 pairs of shoes.
Did you keep any of them? Like, do you still have a shoe that's...
No, I didn't keep them. I wasn't like that sick. I don't have them in like a little temple at the house.
I peed in a kid's shoes one time.
That was one of the funniest things that ever happened. So
at the beach club, I'm assuming?
Yeah, do you mind if I tell this one? Because I was there for this. This one was building up.
That was the timeout too, right?
Yeah.
That was the same kid? I was wondering if it was the same kid.
There was a kid.
Cunt.
That was funny.
There was a kid who came fairly regularly, and I feel like it was only on Friday nights. And
it was never very busy. Friday night or Saturday afternoon?
It was like,
not very busy.
It was nighttime. It was just nighttime.
Okay.
And I don't remember exactly what happened, but for whatever reason, Sam kicked this kid out. And he's like, dude, I have all my friends here. Like, come on, man, please, please, please. And this is the one and only summer that we had like a rope chain at the top of the stairs for whatever reason. So Sam's like, you know what? How old are you? The kid was like, I'm 21. I'm old enough to be in the bar. He's like, I don't care about that. I just want to know how old you are. He goes, I'm 21. He goes, you're 21. You're acting like a child, so you're on timeout for 21 minutes. Ropes off the stairs and makes him sit there for 21 minutes.
I made him sit at the top of the steps so he could see his friends having fun.
Yeah. He's like, I want you to sit here and watch your friends have fun while you sit there for 21 minutes. He's like, also, you're going to apologize to me. So it makes the kid apologize. Anyway, lets the kid in. A couple of weeks later, kid comes back. Same thing. He's acting like a dick, gets kicked out. This time, he's like removed and not coming back. And got removed hard enough that he came out of his shoes.
He was wearing those slip-on boat shoes. Yeah.
So
like Sperry's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're at the top of the stairs, and Sam's like, whose shoes are these? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're his. He's like, you think he's going to come back for them? I'm like, I would assume so. Like, most people always come back, like, the next day or whatever. He's like, all right. Pisses in him. Pisses in his shoes.
Show you.
And puts him, just leaves him right behind the little bench.
Sure enough.
Did he come back?
A couple hours later, came back for his shoes.
And got the pee-pee shoes.
Squish, squish, squish.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Like a vindictive cat.
Yeah. Don't be a fucking asshole.
It was pretty funny.
That's it. Like, people don't realize it. It's a very simple rule. Don't be an asshole.
If you want to get fucking act like an asshole, you're gonna get treated like one. And
Yeah.
I'm a real fucking asshole. So
Right. We're all fucking derelicts, fucking degenerates. And
vindictive.
I've none of those words.
you are.
No, you're not. You might be the only one in the room who's not.
I'm the nice guy. I was saying the other
You're the
day,
nice bouncer.
I'm more of a host than a bouncer. I walk around.
That's why you're not allowed at the front
having a
door.
good time.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, sure. Come on in.
You know,
Wait, I gave you a hug
give
14
people
years
hugs,
ago. Yeah,
shake
come
some
in.
hands,
Oh, you said hi to me 3 weeks
Kiss
ago?
babies.
Come in for free.
you know?
You're basically
Crack
like
a joke, make sure people are smiling. You know,
like the Kennedy of the beach. You're fine. You're good.
Right, set the mood.
Yeah. Those guys don't float too well, so don't crash your plane.
Yeah. They're all dead.
What was that look for?
I don't know. I didn't get it, so I just gave you a bad look.
I got it.
I
It's
didn't
fine.
understand the joke, so I don't understand your words. So I'm taking this disrespect.
I've also seen a lot of good fights too.
Yeah, you get to see some pretty decent ones.
Not good, but I'll say entertaining.
Entertaining, yeah. They're more entertaining than anything else. I don't know that I've ever seen like a real, like,
dust up, like a good one, like two dudes that knew what they were doing.
Actually, no, I have. I've seen one, and it was by how do I put this? A friend of the staff. I won't name names. Right. I won't name names, but a friend of the staff was let off the leash to settle a score once, and that was a pretty good one. That was probably the best one I've seen. That was the only person who I saw live up to their word, like back their shit up. You know, most people in the bars are all talk this and that.
Yeah.
This kid backed his shit up, so I was real into that.
Is this the one where the kid jumps off the deck?
Maybe.
That was probably one of the most athletic feats I've ever seen in my entire
Like
life.
a
That was
gazelle.
fucking unbelievable.
I saw, actually last week I saw a good one. Not good, but, you know, entertaining. So, I'm working. It's busy. Someone goes, oh, there's people fighting! Down. It wasn't at the bar. It was on the walk in front of the bar by the garbage cans.
Have fun.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So, I go down. It's one really ugly kid in an ugly outfit and a fat mopey kid with a wife beater. And then another fat kid.
I like how you put that in there, like it has anything to do with it.
Because he was just like a fat, like, ugh. So basically,
That's a picture.
and there was, the one kid had on, like, he looked like he got raped by a couple wearing vineyard vines. Like, just that gross and messy. And so, apparently, the kid wearing the vineyard vines said something to some fat guy's girlfriend about pounding her in the butt, whatever. The guy took offense to it, as, you know, someone would. And he punched him. So they started fighting. I go down. I go, all right, no one's coming back in. So the one kid goes, I got beat up. I go, well, maybe if you would won the fight, I would have let you back in. But, you know, you lost, so leave.
I did a guest spot last weekend at the Village Idiot. One-off thing, so that's why I don't mind dropping the name on this one. And a buddy of ours who we work with was like, man, there's always bars across the street. And Gaio is across the street. On cue, like 2 minutes later, brawl breaks out. And it was the funniest shit I've seen in a while because it was a girl fight and it got sloppy.
Those are good, though.
Yeah, this was hilarious. So the one girl grabs the girl by her dreads and just starts like uppercutting her. She's hitting the girl. A dude, I guess, like the dudes in the group try to like get involved and break it up. They start fighting. So the one dude hits the other guy. He goes down. The girls fall over the dude. Now they're on the ground rolling around. The security staff, 30 seconds later, comes spilling out.
Crack team.
Start trying to like clean it up. The security guard falls over the girls now. It's just like three people out on the sidewalk falling all over each other. Some other dude comes up and just starts kicking like downed people. I think he was just kicking for no other, like, he just saw people down, just started kicking. I don't even think he had a reason. The girl gets up, still has a handful, throwing uppercuts, throws an uppercut so hard that she falls forwards and drags the chick down.
Jesus.
Finally, the security guards, like, pick them up and drag them off and get it all into wraps. So it was like, it was one of the most entertaining fights I've seen in a while, just because of how sloppy it was. Like, how long was it? This is maybe a minute and a half. Like, It wasn't very long, but it just looked like everybody was fighting on ice skates. It was fucking hilarious. And I just thought the fact that literally, I mean, like, on cue, the second he was like, dude, there's always brawls over there. There's going to be one tonight. Like, within 5 minutes, the brawl breaks out. I was like, wow, fucking impressive. Like, it's like when you think about somebody and they call you.
But this is better because it's fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's not at your expense. You're just kind of hanging out watching.
Yeah, it was funny.
Saw a girl get hit by a car one time. It was pretty fucking brutal.
Really?
Fucking.
Was that at the bar
This
in
was
Sayville?
This was at a bar in Babylon.
Okay.
On Deer Park Avenue, which is, I don't know if anyone knows, Deer Park Avenue is very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy street. This girl's a little sauced. Comes out. I guess her and her boyfriend got into a fight, which I always love because then usually that leads to someone crying in public, and I just really like that. So I'm just like, are you crying? Yeah. All right. Go home and do that. So when you cry in public, to me, you want fucking attention, and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So whatever. Who cares if they broke up? So she's walking across the street. Her heel breaks. She drops her bag. She goes to pick her bag up. This is like not in the middle of Deer Park Avenue, but like 10 feet, 12 feet from the curb. Goes to pick her bag up. All of a sudden, gets hit by a Toyota Tacoma.
Ooh, wow.
So
Toyota Tacoma.
this was like 8-10 years ago. At the time, one of my bouncers was retired from the army, and he was a medic. So he runs out. He starts screaming. I look. Her face was completely caved in. I guess the front hit it. Bad. And the guy just drove off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
10 years ago.
Holy shit.
But face upended and just down on the ground.
Did you ever hear anything about like what?
Nothing. It's one of those things that just happened and no one ever talked about again. It was really weird.
But nobody found out like if she was doing okay.
She came into the bar a year later.
Get the fuck out.
Swear to God.
Wow.
Looked okay. I mean, plastic surgery is amazing.
She probably made a ton of money.
I hope so.
On who? If they never caught the guy?
I'm sure they caught the guy.
Somebody
I mean,
had to call the police
Yeah.
on him.
There was a ton of people. Like, I just saw a white truck just fucking maul this girl. And I
I
was
find it hard to believe that you're going to hit somebody on fucking DPA and not get,
well, the only reason why he wouldn't stop is because it was fucking 2 in the morning. He was probably shithoused. So,
this isn't really related to bouncing, but a bunch of people used to do this bar crawl around Christmas time in Patch Hog.
I know this.
And a bunch of guys in Santa hats basically running around. So we were out, there must have been 50 to 60 of us, and we're down by the Patchogue train station. This car comes by and fucking hits this guy. Just mows this fucking kid down at 30 miles an hour, dude. Takes this kid out hard and fucking drives off. Now, in a way, I can't say that I blame him, because if that was me, even if I was sober and I hit that guy,
your first instinct.
I'm driving
with
somewhere
all those guys,
with all those
that wear the
guys.
same outfit as him.
I'm not getting the fuck out.
Off.
Yeah, I'm not getting out of the car.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the car. What? Like I was saying, like you probably should have pulled off and called 911 and be like, listen, I hit somebody, but there's a whole mess of people, and like I don't want to,
Do you know, like, that was somebody who was with the bar crawl, but was underage and wasn't able to get in.
Really?
Like, into the bars. So they went and got their car, and they didn't hit him. He didn't hit him intentionally, but he, already had a couple drinks. Hit him.
Wow.
And the guy who got hit, funny story afterwards. 2 days later, my brother, like his girlfriend, bought him a DVD player for his truck at the time, and was going to get it installed. The guy who was supposed to install it, like they had to cancel the appointment. Like, oh yeah, the guy who was supposed to install it got hit by a car and broke his hip. It was the same guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, because he did break his hip. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's weird. That story through the years has gotten weirder and weirder in ways I couldn't even imagine.
That's why I don't do that night anymore.
Yeah, it's over anyway.
Yeah.
But watching somebody get hit by a car is fucking
The
scary.
noise, and it was her head too, like her face. It was just.
That's scary.
Was she good looking before?
I didn't really see her. All I saw was an eyeball hanging out and teeth hanging out. I didn't really
The
notice.
shoes come off?
No, one of her heels broke, so it probably, yeah, I would say.
Every person I've ever seen get hit by a car, their shoes come off and they fly disturbingly far. Like, I watched a kid get hit by a car. The car's probably only going about 15, 20 miles an hour. This kid's shoes went like 75 feet across an intersection in the city. It like blew my mind.
I don't think I've seen anyone hit by a car.
No, I've seen people get hit by cars.
Happens.
I did see that lady fall from the top step.
Which
I
one?
didn't see it. I saw the aftermath at the bar at the beach.
Oh yeah,
It's like 15 steps,
22.
22. So
Yeah,
she fell
it's
21.
It's far.
She
Sometimes
peed
you gotta
herself.
Stop halfway
Yeah,
up.
I thought she was dead.
Whatever.
She peed herself?
She peed herself.
Like immediately.
I mean, I was at my day job 2 weeks ago, and we had to restrain a kid, and he shit himself. So
What about
happens.
the lady that fucking shit herself? Was it last summer or the summer before? At the beach.
Gotta go. You gotta go, bro.
Let it rip.
Fucking.
Let it rip on the floor. Talking about people shitting
Why is she
themselves.
long at those bathrooms?
No, she was just fucking out of control drunk.
Oh, I remember that.
Was she diabetic or something like that? She was there all day.
Well, when you're diabetic, drinking rocket fuel all day, and not taking insulin, it's something bad's gonna happen.
With you?
Didn't she shit on the
Yeah.
bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
bad. I remember
No,
that.
not on the bench. She shit in the mid. She had fallen over, like, in the middle of the deck.
Borderline diabetic coma.
Borderline diabetic coma. We got her a chair, put her in a chair, and she shit.
Oh, I remember that now. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
You know, some people just can't control their bowels.
They're just that awesome. They need to let it rip.
Is there?
Some people just get drunk and they're, I don't know, I get drunk. I've never pissed or shit myself while I was drunk, but people do that. Like, I had a friend that used to piss his bed every night.
I had a buddy like that too.
Drunk. It was just like
maybe
clockwork.
not drink so much. You know,
Yeah.
that's the cure for that one.
Like, at some point you have to realize that when you're a grown-ass adult and you're changing your sheets the next day after you go out drinking, like, maybe it's time to either, like, cut back or maybe quit drinking. I don't know. I mean, I've never pissed my bed as an adult, probably since I was, like, 6 years old. But if I started pissing my bed and it coincided with some activity, I'd probably sort of, like, figure out how to, like, change that activity a little bit, or maybe stay away from that if it made me pee in my bed at night. It's not a normal thing to do as an adult.
To each his own.
I've gotten as fucked up as people get. And
You get saucy.
And I have never even, like, sprinkled on my pants, like, badly. Well, a little bit. But, like, you know, that's just being drunk and lazy. Like, you're going to be drunk, be proactive. I got to pee. I don't want to clean this up in the morning when I'm hungover.
When I used to
get up.
Yeah, when I used to
Pee
drink a
off
lot.
the bed. Pee on the floor.
Yeah. I would pee out of my window when I would drink. This is one of the
I've done that before.
I would be so drunk I didn't think I could get to the bathroom, or I thought I would just pee in a laundry basket or something. So I would pee out of my window. Right next to my bed.
I
Yeah.
peed out of the window.
Or in a bottle. It's a guy thing, you know?
Oh, the bottle? Piss jugs? I'm real with the piss jugs.
Yeah.
I had a buddy pee in my parents' fridge, like the cold cut drawer, like you open it up, and he
Did you make a sandwich without knowing he peed in there?
No,
Okay.
like I realized he was wasted, and he like opened the fridge, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then he starts peeing, and I freaked out. I was like 20 years old, and I run to the other room where my brother Matt is. I'm like, yo, he's peeing in the fridge. What do? Matt goes, punch him in the face. And then, like, I'm just, like, trying to clean it up without my parents waking
It's
up.
a valid
My mom wakes
response.
up. It's like, what's going on? And I just told her. And she just, everything, just threw whatever was in the fridge. She's like, I don't know where it went. Everything's going throughout
You gotta start
everything.
from scratch at that point.
Yeah.
You can't just have some fucking stranger pissing in your fridge and then cook dinner.
Someone had to go. They had to get taken care of.
You know, it's a weird thing. That's a lot of what happens too. I've noticed at the bars is like drunks deciding they can just pee anywhere they want. Also,
Women just piss all over the women's bathroom. It's like as soon as a
they're
woman
savages.
walks through the
Tampons,
bathroom door,
fucking
disgusting.
everything all over the place.
they just pee anywhere where they need. Like there's piss on the floor, there's piss on the wall.
Puddles.
It's disgusting.
Like, how do you spray on the fucking wall?
I don't know I don't know how they figure it out, and how like there's such a disconnect between what they're doing at home or at work and what they do at a bar. It's like I'd rather any day of the week eat off the floor of a men's bathroom than a women's
Yeah.
bathroom
Oh, yeah.
at a bar.
I mean, I saw a woman
Women's
take a
bathroom
shit on the floor in a women's bathroom, so there you go.
just this past weekend, working at a bar in Babylon that Sam and I both work at, this guy goes into the fucking stall and decides he's going to piss out the fucking stall door.
Like the crack, right?
Yeah, the crack.
Yeah.
Spraying piss all over the place.
That guy's
One of the
funny.
Sounds like a Sam
bouncers in
Strime yellow move.
he has somebody come and get me, and I come in there. The guy comes out. Not only does he come out, he washes his hands afterwards. He's washing his hands and they're going, "What? I didn't do anything." Like, guy, we just fucking watched you piss streaming out of the door. No, that wasn't me. What do you mean it wasn't you? You're the only one in there. Like,
Would be.
Gave it a shot.
he's
I guess he gave it a shot.
Yeah, he tried.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? Guy had a fucking epic blowout too. I'm like, dude, where did you come from? Jersey Shore? Like fucking
2005.
Was he orange?
He was kind of orange.
That's
Yeah.
hot.
I kicked a kid out a couple years ago on Memorial Day weekend for pissing in the sink.
That's a common
That's
occurrence.
standard though. That's pretty standard.
Yeah, no, that's not what was like odd about it, but I remember
think I know who you're talking
he
about.
He put up like he got like he's like, "Why are you kicking me out?" I'm
Well,
like,
you have to backtrack. He had been kicked out of the bar numerous times before that.
yeah. But
He
I
was
just-
a real piece of shit.
I was like, "Dude, you can't piss in the stink and stay." He's like, "Well, the line was real long."
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it
all-
doesn't-
All right,
it
then
doesn't
walk down the
matter.
stairs and piss on the fucking sand.
That's always
You have
the
a whole
girl-
bathroom right there.
Yeah, the girls' excuses, like fucking, oh, well, the girls' line was too long, so I went in the men's room. No,
Yeah, that's
no,
not
you
how it
have
works.
to go, bitch. Like, sorry. Get out.
I kicked a girl out of the men's bathroom for that, and she told me that I was sexist. I was like,
Did you have a dick?
"Your argument doesn't even fucking make sense." She's like,
Tranny.
"You're sexist for not letting me in here." I was like, "This doesn't even make sense."
I
Your
usually
argument makes zero sense to me. How am I sexist for kicking you out of
This
the
is
men's
this
bathroom?
is your fault for trying to reason with drunk people.
it's
I
like
wanted to hear it. No,
Sometimes
I was honestly, it wasn't trying to
Dealing with
reason with it. I was
schizophrenics.
entertained. Like,
You scream AIDS.
It was
when you start to
fucking-
try to
it was
reason
funny.
with AIDS.
it was funny to me.
No more talking. No more talking. No more talking.
She talked herself into a corner where literally she had to stop talking and just turn around and
was
leave
on
because she
something.
knew. She knew.
You
Yeah.
out argued her with philosophical principles.
No, I just kept calling her dumb.
No, in that situation, when I do that, I wait for the person's response, and usually when it's that sense of entitlement, I kick them out. Where it's like, oh, it's fine, I can do what I want. All right, so I'm going to go to your house and piss in your fucking sink. Piece of shit.
I did that to a girl years ago.
Peed in the sink?
Yeah.
Done worse. I've upper decked it before
Ah,
at parties.
yeah.
Yeah. I was notorious for that in high school. Upper
The
deck.
host is a real piece of shit.
I mean, even if they weren't, I don't really give a shit. It's not my house. Just as bad as people that go to the bar.
Yeah, you're a real piece of shit, Sam.
Not anymore, though.
That's why you
I've,
work there.
I've never done it at your house.
That's true. Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. I was waiting for the yet.
So, I think another category of good stories would be door stories.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started.
There are fucking some. Sam and I work the door a lot at this particular bar, and some of the stories and shit people say to either get in the bar or fucking it's just unbelievable.
Well, we should put a caveat on that too because that particular bar is Entitlement Land USA.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude. I mean, when I started bouncing, I was an inside guy, and then towards the latter part of my career up until now, I've been doing doors. That's usually what I get hired for because of my sparkling personality. Is that it, or just I'm just
Charisma.
my charisma? I'm just a fucking jerk off. But you know, it's people. It's a $5 cover. What's the cover for? To watch me play with a fucking fidget spinner? I don't know. It's for the fucking. And when you explain to them what it's for the band, they don't get it.
The best is the people that are there to see the band, to support the band, and still fucking have a
I don't
problem
want to
with it. It's
pay.
like, how do you think
Like,
your
yeah,
band gets
I'm
paid?
friends
Like your
with the drummer.
Okay, would you like your friend to get paid?
The best Memorial Day weekend. A group of 10 people come up, and now it's Sunday. That is arguably the busiest day of Memorial Day weekend. Everyone's out to party. 10, 12 people. I mean, I look at them, and they're just wild white trash. Like, I thought they were from the mountains of West Virginia. They were fucking bad.
Or mastic.
The Mastic Navy. Yeah. So,
They
but
have mountains in Master?
Yeah.
Is that the dump?
that's the dump, bro. So they're walking up, and it's a $10 cover, and, you know, it's 4 in the afternoon. The band still has a set and a half left, another 2 hours. I said, all right, guys, it's a $10 cover. He said, but there's 10 of you. I said, just give me $60 for the group, which is for free, which, great. I'm not paying a cover charge. Well, how do you think you're going to get in? I'm going to walk right past you. How do you think that's going to work? So then he started getting mad, and I just started playing with the buttons on his shirt. He had like a silk shirt on. I was just kind of playing with the buttons. And
He
then
was dressed up.
he was, you know, silk short sleeve shirt and bathing suit and water shoes, real fucking dressed up. So I was just kind of playing with the buttons on his shirt, and I started playing with his collar, flipped it up a little bit, and then I said, "Hey, guess what?" He goes, "What?" I go, "Now you and your family can't come in," and they left. And then, oh look, this place is a fucking ripoff.
Yes, yes, it is.
My favorite to the band thing when I tell them, hey, there's a band, that's what the cover's for, they go, well, I'm not here for the band. Like, it doesn't matter.
I just want to have one drink.
Yeah, I'm
Are
not
you
going to
gonna
listen
stick
to
your
him.
your fingers in your ears and go la la la
Yeah.
all the time? You're gonna hear the music, so you
Yeah,
fucking
like,
pay.
it doesn't matter if you're here for the band or
I
not.
just want one drink. Okay, so does everybody else. Pay the fucking cover.
And I don't want to fucking work every weekend,
Right.
but I do it anyway.
Let's not turn this into a gripe session, though.
But it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny. So, one of my favorite door stories ever. I worked at a large Irish bar in Bayshore.
I heard it was pretty crazy over there.
Some might say it's nutty. So, I worked the door there for a long time, and when I first started working it, I worked with a guy who'd also done the door for a real long time in, previous bars and shit. And there we had a sign of all the things that you weren't allowed to wear to the bar. No flat brim hats, no wife beaters, no big gold chains, like literally all this stuff.
So you can't come in dressed like a rapper.
So this is my story. So, and it was extremely busy. There was always a line of like 100 people outside the door. So we're working the door, and this guy comes of African descent. I could say this.
South African?
Yeah, South African.
So he was white.
No.
The other
Soccer
kind?
player? Was he a soccer player?
No soccer player.
Basketball?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe track star.
Okay.
And he basically has every violation on there. Baggy jeans.
Camo boots.
Yeah. Not camo. Tim's. Tim's.
Solid white.
Even better, lugs.
The oversized
The OG
white t-shirt
shirt.
with the wife beater.
Yes.
Who the fuck are you impressing with that on?
All of those. Flat brim hat. Oversized white t-shirt. Baggy jeans. Down to his fucking ass. Tim's. I don't know why the fuck he was even trying to come into this place anyway.
Did he have bandanas on with like gang colors too?
No.
Was he twirling around a gun? He's like, "Can I come in your club? Can
Petey Pablo in the gun.
I come in your club?"
So he comes up, and the guy that I'm working the door with, he's like, "Sorry, man, you can't come in." He's like, "Why?"
Everything.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He's like, "Look, we have this very nice sign right here on the front door that tells you why," and he proceeds to go because this guy gave zero fucks whatsoever. He'd been doing it way too long. So he's like, "Well, let me go down the list for you," and he's like, "Oversized white t-shirt,
Check.
check." Basically, flat brim hat, gold chain, Tim's, baggy jeans. Should I keep going? He goes, "Oh, what, basically, so, I can't be a nigga?" He goes, "Yeah, you know what? We ran out of room on the sign. That was going to be the next thing."
Oh my god.
It was, the kid didn't even get mad, though. He was just like, "Okay."
You can't get mad at that.
Can't get mad at that. He was just like, "Yeah, sorry, we ran out of room on the sign." It was fucking one of the funniest things ever.
Life's hard, bro. Get a fucking helmet.
I wonder if that still really happens. I remember, like, when I first started to bounce in, like, the
It
early
does at the bar in
2000s.
Babylon that
Does
I work
it?
at. Absolutely, because I do the door.
In the
Yeah.
early 2000s, you would have, like, no urban wear, no, like, white t-shirts, no white sneakers. Like, you'd have all those things that you just didn't want people to wear. And people would come up to, like, the clubs that I worked at. And
Wearing
I was a doorman, and I worked the same club Thursday night, a different club Friday night, a different club Saturday night, but it was like the same club pretty much every week. And like the same people would come up like week after week with dress code violations. And by the time I had been working there for like a couple months, they would bring like multiple sets of clothing with them. Hold on, I got something better in the car. Do I have to wait online if I come back? And I would like I'd be like, "Come on, man, you were here last week. We've gone through this before. You know what's appropriate. This is hot right now. This is hot."
It's velour, Gene. It's
That
velour.
was always.
These are ice cream sneakers. These are the ice cream sneakers. They cost $500.
Well, you paid $499 too much.
It was always this is hot right now. Like, no sweatsuits. Oh, but it's velour. That was another one all the time. Yo, it's velour.
St. Patty's Day.
Fuck, dude. Like, come
No,
on.
these are Pradas.
Yeah.
These are Pradas. Doesn't matter. You're not allowed to wear
You're getting
sneakers.
nada with that right now.
You're just not allowed to wear sneakers. And then back in the day when I first started working, like there was no in between. You had to wear dress shoes, brown or black. You had to wear dress pants, no cargo pockets, no jeans. Forget about blue jeans. And then you had to wear a button-up shirt.
blue jeans.
You had to wear
Berserker.
you had to wear a button-up shirt, and like a real one, not like a polo, like a button-up that went like all the way down. Like
That's how it should be, though.
It should be.
Like, you think, like, the place I work at in Babylon now is very nice. We have a dress code for a reason. I like to enforce that dress code. This kid comes up, he just looked like a real slob. And he's like, "I'm getting in." I go, "Why?" I go, "Your shirt, you're wearing a dirty white t-shirt and it's one size too small. Like, I can see your tummy hanging out over your belt. You're wearing these weird corduroy pants and white sneakers." I'm like, you think you're even gonna sling dick looking like that? No one's gonna talk to you.
Corduroy pants, though, huh?
Yeah, but like gross ones. You know,
Were they
I'm
green,
into
like,
corduroy
were they
pants.
olive? Were they olive?
they were
green?
like brownish and tattered.
They're always brown or
Yeah.
olive green. Those are like the two corduroy.
I was like, do you
colors.
actually think you are gonna get laid wearing this right now? I don't care if you have the best personality in the world. You look like a garbage pail kid.
Let's be honest. If you're showing up in corduroy pants, you probably don't have a person.
That was Sunday best, Sam. Sunday best.
He's like, these are my church clothes. I go, okay, well, this isn't church. Fuck him.
Even Jesus has a dress code, bro.
Shush.
Sandals only.
Nailed it.
So, what do you think is probably the biggest... What are you laughing? I didn't even finish talking and you're laughing at me. Oh my god. You just knocked my whole train of thought off.
Sorry.
At all the places you worked, which was... How many you worked over the years? Like 10, 11?
Somewhere between 8 and 10, 8 and 12.
Alright. So, in all those places, what was the biggest issue that you saw, like, carry over to every bar? It's just, like, ubiquitous between security work. Like, it's always this, like, doesn't matter what bar you work at, like, it's always the same issues all over the place for the most part. But, like, what's the one thing that stood out to you?
No matter where you work, what shore, north, south, city, there's always that sense of entitlement. And people like us knock people like those down a peg or two. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you come from. You don't follow the rules, you're getting dragged up by your fucking ears. I don't give a shit who your mom
Or your
is.
ankles if your dick is out.
Yeah.
So it's always great if you grab
Oh,
that
my
guy
mom
by-
is
I
this
don't give a
person.
shit.
My dad is this person.
Good,
Fuck
then
it.
tell them that I'm doing my job. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I actually have to tell a funny story about dicks being out. And it's probably like 3-4 years ago. It was a Friday night, and there wasn't really much happening. And a regular at the bar came out to us and was like, hey, there's like this couple in the DJ booth. So we run to the DJ booth, and I take my flashlight and I shine it on him. And this dude's getting his dick sucked in the DJ booth.
Here, Dave, look at the mic so everyone can hear you. Because I know they can't hear you right now.
Really? Come on, it's right next to me.
You trail off.
Yeah, you trail off and you put your face to the wall, so...
Alright. Anyway, so shine my light on him. I'm like, alright guys, enough. Like, you gotta cut this shit out. Like, stop. And I tell the guy, I'm like, look, I'm not trying to cock block you. I'm like, but go downstairs. I was like, I'm not even gonna kick you out. Go downstairs.
Fair.
So,
Very fair, very, very fair.
right. So,
By downstairs, he means down to, like,
by
beach.
to the beach, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
go to the beach. Do this somewhere else. Like, it's nighttime. There's nobody there. Like, there's plenty of space down there.
Lifeguard stand.
So, I think that they had fucked off, like, because they left out of the DJ booth. I thought they were gone. 10 minutes later, me and another security guard we work with roll back over there, and I see them back in the fucking booth. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, this is the second time. So the other security guard looks at the guy. He goes, put your fucking dick away, and if I see it again, it's mine. Like, dude, you're just like school teaching him. Like, you know, if I see that phone again, I'm taking it. It was one of the funniest fucking things ever, to the point that the guy even laughed.
You can't be mad at that.
Yeah, he got up and was like, and just walked
Threat
out
of getting
after
your
that.
dick ripped off.
It was pretty goddamn funny. It was one of the funny things that happened, and that kind of like set the tone for that weekend. That was a real interesting weekend, actually. It was
Yeah.
one of the better lines I've heard. Was that good? Did I face the mic?
Much better. Good job.
Sorry, guys. I gotta get more assertive with my microphone voice. But you fucking son of a bitch. What do you think was the, like, so 4th of July, Thanksgiving Eve, what's the worst one? Because I usually don't bounce over the winter, so for me it's always the 4th of July. That's the worst weekend.
So
like
for
the
me,
amateur hour party weekends.
it's always amateur hour. You know, Halloween weekend has actually gotten
I think that's
worse.
a big one.
Yeah.
It's in there, but I think Probably violence-wise, the worst night to work is Valentine's Day or that weekend.
Valentine's Day.
You get a bunch of fucking lonely hearts going out. It's like unattached drifter Christmas. Everyone's going out to get fucking laid. You know, you get all these fucking ragtags in the fucking bar trying to get their fucking dick wet. You know, these gross broads just all about it. And what happens? You don't hook up. You get sad. You power drink. And I gotta tell you, I worked at the place in Port Jeff. One Valentine's Day weekend, 11 fights on a Friday night. 11 fights in a 5.5 hour period.
Wow.
That's not like you think. Oh, it's Thanksgiving Eve. No, it was that. It was bad.
That's
Although
like 18 and overnight.
I was just saying,
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving Eve and New Year's Eve are the worst amateur hour. They're not violent nights. It's a lot of kicking people out because they're fucking overly drunk, but not usually violent.
Yeah.
But violence-wise, it's Halloween or Valentine's Day. Because Halloween, everyone puts a costume on. You act like a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. You're not that person. You're not fucking Superman. You're not going to beat me up. It's not going to happen.
And typically your girlfriend has the sluttiest fucking outfit.
Yeah.
On. She looks like a fucking whore. So now you're getting mad at guys looking at her like, hey, here's an idea. Tell your girlfriend not to dress like a fucking whore if you don't want to get into a fight.
If you don't want goblins in your pants, don't dress like Halloween.
That's it.
You know, now I think about it, Halloween's probably the best night to give a blowjob in a bar.
Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah, if you're gonna fuck in public.
Are you giving out blowjobs?
No, he's asking for off on Halloween. He's like, I need to take off this year.
Yeah.
So I won't ask you to work on Halloween.
I'm gonna come in wearing a black, Velcro bodysuit and fucking make like a circus seal. Oh. I'm just saying, you're undercover.
Guys, you gonna stay in the suit?
Really?
You better costume.
The guy who just made the badum ching joke gets literal now. Fucking dick. I'm real glad that I don't really work over the winter too much. This winter I started working more. I dodged most of the amateur hour times though. St. Patrick's Day was pretty.
That's a pretty bad one too.
I had a not a physically rough one. There was a guy. So I typically work in the winter at this club from 9 to 2. It's like retirement hours. It's good money. So this guy comes up. It's like 10 o'clock at night. This little old Italian man who looked like an extra from A Bronx Tale or something like that. He's got a cup, and I could smell. I don't drink at all. So when someone comes close to me that's drinking, I just smell it. So I smell it. I said, "You got to get rid of the cup, buddy." And I said, "What do you wear? You wearing a fucking velour jumpsuit? Like, what are you wearing right now? Is that real?" This suit was $150. I go, "You fucking overpaid." He said, "You can't come in." And then he, was, "I'm going to come back and shoot you." Good, fucking shoot me so I don't have to do this ever again. I don't care. The amount of threats that you get as a bouncer is absurd.
Especially doorman.
Best insult that's ever been thrown at you.
What do you make, $10 an hour? It's always that one.
Not the standard insult. The best insult.
Why do you do this? Because you're gay? Yeah, that's why I do it. Because I'm a fucking homo. It was the weirdest one. I don't understand it.
What about you?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I have like a whole things that.
But at the same time too, when you get, I think even as fucked up as you are when you threaten a doorman, you got to know there's going to be some type of retaliation. You're going to get smacked in the face, your head bounced off a wall. Yeah. So say what you want. I'm still gonna, and I tell everyone that talks shit. Try and be as hands off as possible now. You want to fight? Come back at 2:30 and I'm off. We can fucking fight in the parking lot. No, it never shows up.
Nah, everybody's a walkway tough guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever serious. Everybody talks shit, and it's the same insults every time we throw them out. I make more money than you.
Good.
Do you?
Great.
Good. You know what? There's always going to be a guy like me
Go get a real job, stupid. Like, all right.
to stop a guy like you, and that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. Doesn't matter.
What's how good does that make you feel on the inside? Cause you chirped up as you said that.
I get fucking hard as shit, bro. So man, I have a fucking shitty job. I work in an alternative high school. It's not a shitty job. It's actually a good job.
You're a bouncer in high school?
I'm a high school bully, essentially, yes. I run a crisis team. These kids are emotionally disturbed and, on the border. And, it's more violent than any bar I've ever worked at.
On the border?
Autistic, retarded, 55 IQs and shit like that.
Forrest Gump.
Worse than Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
Not as nice either.
Forrest Gump was in the 80s, probably.
Mid-70s.
The IQ. Yeah.
A lot of these kids are in the mid-50s to mid-60s. A lot of them are schizophrenic,
So
bipolar.
you must have great conversations with these kids.
The best.
You guys got 100 IQ between the two of you.
110. I tell everyone, like, what's it like? I go, it's a mix between One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and World Star Hip Hop. It's insane.
I got a question. Who's been your greatest adversary as a bouncer? Have you ever met somebody that was like legitimate?
Like, tough or just a real cunt, like, consistent asshole?
Both. Just like someone you're like, oh, this guy again. Or you like grabbed someone and you were like, oh shit, this might not have been a great guy to grab.
I'm pretty good with that now. When I was younger, probably, and I don't remember, but when I worked in Port Jeff, I wish I could say his name. I think he's in jail right now, actually. So this guy would come every week. He would go, the person who owned this bar in Port Jeff owned another one across the street. He would get kicked out of there, come to our bar. Not just, hey, you gotta go. We would drag him out. Like, there were nights where I literally hip-tossed him downstairs. So he came back one night, probably coked out of his face, and I was just done with it. You ever just done with someone?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I fucking grabbed him by his jacket and I pushed him against the wall. And I saw his hands ball up. And I said, you want to hit me? You want to hit me, don't you? So he went to go swing, moved, he hit me a little bit. I don't think I've ever grabbed anyone as hard as I've ever grabbed this kid. By his throat and the back of his neck, I picked him up and slammed him on the hood of a car. And that was the end of him, and then he went and tried to light the other bar on fire.
I'll tell you who your greatest adversary was.
Whom?
2, maybe 3 years ago. It was myself, you, and another guy at the door. And it was a relatively boring Saturday. But there was one particular guy in the bar who was a Guido idiot and dancing.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Dancing like an ass clown. And like just running up and dancing with people who didn't like want any part of him. They kept doing it the whole day.
That was a good one.
So Sam was
That
like,
was me at the door.
Sam, was you? Okay,
Yes.
I wasn't sure. Sam was pacing around,
Yes.
Getting mad.
getting antsy, and we have a guy who does just the money on busy days. He's like, Sam, what's the matter? He's like, I'm just not having a good day. He's like pacing around. And he goes to walk away, and he goes, Sam, what are you doing? He goes, I'm gonna go pick a fight. So Sam walks right up to this guy. This guy's dancing, taps him, and goes, you got to get the fuck out of my bar. And the guy goes, for what? For what? And he's like, you've been dancing around here like an asshole like all day. You're making people feel uncomfortable.
Oh.
We just got another complaint about you. Get out. And he's like, you're just mad because the chicks love it. You're just mad because the chicks love it. Just like typical Guido bullshit. Argues with Sam a little bit. Sam grabs him by his neck and drags him to the door.
That was the kid where I threw him on the ground and I basically neon belly and took a handful of sand and shoved it in his mouth.
Well, he punched you though. Remember,
His head hit me. Yeah, we were.
Sam had him like sat down with his back, like in Sam's knee, like you had like your knee in his back,
Like a
and he was
cobra
facing
clutch.
you, and the guy punched upward like behind
Hit me.
punched you,
And I didn't think that was going to happen because he was starting to get real passive. So I fucking was behind him. I grabbed his face and his chin and I slammed him down into the sand. Knee on belly, knee on his throat. Grabbed sand, shoved it in his mouth, and fucking rolled him over like a chicken cutlet.
I dumped a garbage can on him.
Garbage
cans.
Yeah.
Big roll.
That's a good special move. That's definitely like finishing.
The garbage.
Finish him.
The garbage pail.
Yeah.
I had neon belly on the guy, and I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, I don't want to hurt you. And he like starts talking shit and like throws this like half sissy punch at me. So I put my forearm in his neck. I'm like, dude, just cut it out. Like, it's over for you. I'm like, there's 9 guys around here anyway. And he said something ridiculous. Like, I think he like told me to like go fuck my mother or something like that. And I was like, all right, man. And he just so happened to be right next to the garbage can. So I just took the garbage can, picked it up, and just dumped it out all over his head. And he started like kicking like an infantile retard, like just like a baby throwing a fit on the floor, just like legs kicking. And that's when Sam came over and stuffed fucking sand in his mouth.
They don't pay me to be nice. I'm a fucking bouncer.
No.
Come on.
True story. I know who Skang's adversary is. Creepy French guys.
Oh, that guy tried to kiss your mouth.
Fucking outgame me real hard.
He was rubbing. I have a picture of that somewhere. Rubbing.
that was like funny.
It's
Wait,
okay.
This guy was hanging.
We were closed and he wouldn't leave. And I look at him. I go, "All right, Pierre, get the fuck
Wait,
out."
hold on. You got to give the backstory to this. Let's hear this.
He was just
Were you working or just drinking?
You
No,
were-
I was working. It was like the end of the night.
I like your
but
yellow
at that point, I
shirt.
was just drinking. It was like the end of the night, and fucking he made a gay joke, so I made a gay joke.
You tried to outgay his gay joke.
I tried, and like we were just back and forth, and I tried to outgay him, and he
started
went full
massaging
gay. He
your
went full
shoulder.
gay on me.
But from behind, massaging and like getting close to his ear and kind of like whispering. And I looked at it. I go, Skanga, are
It was
you guys
real.
gonna fuck or are you gonna
yeah.
kick him out? You
Yeah,
fucked.
I totally got outgayed. Yeah, French guys.
No.
My only weakness.
What about you?
First time for everything.
Greatest adversary.
I had a couple really good adversaries. I'll tell the story of one. I worked at a club that's not open anymore, but it was in Manhattan on 28th Street, West 28th Street. It's called Crowbar, and it was a pretty big place, and a real diverse crowd. You get a bunch of people that were there to like listen to the club music and do ecstasy. They had a hip hop room, so you would get people over there for hip hop music. You'd
Smoking
have
blunts.
yeah, you'd be smoking blunts. A lot
Hand
of
dog.
the guys that were getting tables were all like pretty like high level criminals and drug dealers. They were dropping a couple. This place was expensive to get into.
From my experience with private places like that, those are the best clients.
Oh, they tip real well.
They tip well and they keep to themselves.
Well, this
For the
place,
most part.
this place it was like the polar opposite. It was like basically like the gang capital for like meetups, because we had like people. We had Italians there. We had Albanians there. We had Hell's Angels would show up every once in a while. I don't know what they were
Now
doing.
you can't leave.
And so it was a very diverse club, and there were only there were 28 bouncers or 30. There were between 20, I think 28 on like the low end and 40 plus on like a very busy night bouncers there. But of course, like everybody knows, not everybody can fight. Like some guys are just like the 400-pound giant black guy.
That you get behind and push and then
Yep.
grab.
He's
Yeah.
there just to shove people, but he's not tussling with anyone that wants to really fight. You got the other like token black guy that's at the door. He's just sort of there.
Street cred.
He's just there to prove that you guys aren't racist. You usually got like a Spanish guy out there too, somebody that speaks Spanish. That was like my buddy Eddie. He was always like our Spanish guy speaking his Spanglish to this Latino community to like let them know we're not racist against them either.
But, you know.
But we are.
There was a group of fighters that trained there. It was myself, my boy Nick, my friend Aaron, who's done some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, did a kickboxing fight or two, and we were like the three tough guys. So whenever there was like a real problem with somebody that was like really violent, you'd hear like they'd call us on the radio like, oh, Eric and Nick, come to this room. Oh, Eric and Nick, we need you at the door. Eric and Nick, we need you at the back door. So we would get these calls every once in a while.
Wait, little Eric too?
No. Oh, sorry. Eric, Nick, and Aaron.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Eric, Nick, and Aaron. So one day I get the call. I hear Eric, Nick, and Aaron come to the hallway. So the hallway, it was sort of like a secret escape for the staff to go through. And it would ran all along the back of this club. This club was a huge club.
You
I
do a lot of
think.
creepy shit back there?
Once in a while, yeah,
into
once
it.
in a while.
Alright.
But it was also very busy. There was a lot of people coming
Right.
through. Like they had food at this place, so that there was like staff going through with different menus and things like that, and all different types of people. There were like over 100 employees at this club every night it opened. And so I run back there. I get the call. I run back there. Neither of my other two friends are in sight, and there's this giant Asian guy, and he was like sort of fat, but sort of like thick, almost like a football player build.
Sumo.
He looked sumo-ish. He was about
like the
6.
sumo guy in the Replacements. That's what I'm picturing. 'Cause he looked
Eating
like a
eggs?
big fat
Eating hard-boiled
guy.
eggs?
Yeah, eating
Okay.
eggs.
I'll say he was like a mid-sized sumo wrestler. It wasn't like one of the real fat ones, but he was like a stocky dude, like a lineman football player build. And he's wearing this like full suit. And the guy that called me is like, yo, we need to get this guy out of here, but he like knows how to fight. And I'm like afraid. And the guy, they had obviously had like a minor physical confrontation up at that point. I guess the Asian guy had sort of won. And this other bouncer was like a skinny dude. He was like what you'd call like a skeleton, or like one of the skeleton crew. Like you had him because you needed to have another bouncer. So you usually like made him watch like a silly area that nothing bad happened.
Just
like,
a body.
Yeah, don't make sure nobody goes in the service hallway. Like that guy. He's just like a body. So we used to call them skeletons. So I come over and I'm like, this guy's got to go. I'm like, you tried to throw him out? He's like, yeah, but you're sort of wrestling. He won't let me throw him out. So I'm like, yo, fuck this dude. So I immediately, like, I don't even say anything to this guy. And I, like, walk up to him, and I guess he thought we were going to have a conversation, but that didn't happen. So I just like body locked this big dude, started wrestling him, hit him with like a little like foot trip thing, like a little foot trip to let him know what's up. Like, yeah, I could do this if I want to, but I'm not going to throw you on the ground. He had a suit. Oh, he had a suit on too. He was dressed real nice, and he was like older. He was definitely in his like early 40s. So the guy like almost falls over. He gets back up, and he's like, "I'm going," and spins around, and he starts like walking out. When we get out to the outside of the club, there was like the metal gates around the outside because this place was like the place to get into. So we needed like a crew of, I think there were like 14 guys as doormen in the front. They had the metal crowd control gates all around. It was like real wild place back in the day. And I get this guy out there, and he spins around and immediately starts trying to like wrestle with me. So I hit him with like a little bit of like, it wasn't a full judo throw. It was sort of like one of those half-ass judo throws where you don't get them over your hip, but they just fall over your feet. Yeah. And the guy was like real big, so I was sort of happy with that. The guy falls on the floor. He's real like ashamed now. The other bouncers were like all around, and they're like pushing the guy out of like the gates. So I'm like, all right, immediately I'm a pretty well-seasoned bouncer. When you throw a guy out of the club, but you're an inside guy, you immediately go right back into the club because you don't want to stay out there and escalate the situation further. You let the guys that are the doormen talk the guy down because they're not the ones that had like embarrassed him or threw him out or ruined his night. They're just other bouncers. So I go back in the club and I don't really hear anything over the radio. Like 15 minutes later, another dude comes back in and he's like, "Yo, we need you to come to the front door to talk to that guy you threw out." And I'm like, "What do you mean I have to go talk? What the fuck?
Did you want an apology?
Why do I have to go talk to him?" They're like, "You just got to go out there and talk to him." So I'm like walking near the front, and one of my friends comes out, this guy Angel, who was like the doorman there, real old school guy. He was in his late 50s. He claims to have worked at Studio 54. I don't really know, but this guy Angel comes out. He's like, "Yo, Eric," they used to call me E. He's like, "E, you gotta go talk to Big Man outside, and you got to apologize to him." And he just wants to talk to you. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking apologize with that guy. I almost got hurt trying to throw him. He was so fat. Fuck that. They're like, "Nah, he's the leader of the triads in Chinatown, and we need you to go apologize to him so something bad doesn't happen to us later, or on one of the nights you're not working." So I'm like, oh man, I've had to do this like a couple of times where I have to have like a conversation with somebody.
I've only apologized once in 15 years, and you were there.
That's it. Let him finish.
Yeah.
Let him finish. We'll get into that.
So yeah, I went outside, and the first thing the guy said to me, he's like, "Oh, you do judo? What, do you train?" And I was like,
so he was impressed with you.
He's actually like impressed because he's like, I tried to set you up for, I don't know, like Ippon Sayanagi, and you like blocked it, and then you wrestled me down the hallway. He's like, "You almost foot tripped me," and like I started thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess that guy was sort of like doing defenses to me, like while I was like walking out. Like I didn't notice, like I've had wrestlers try to like wrestle me, but I never like encountered somebody that did judo. So we talked a little bit about training. I told him like, yeah, I do MMA and I do kickboxing, and I've done a little bit of judo, but I don't have any rank. And we shot the shit for a little bit, and I ended up apologizing to him. And the guy was like, "Oh," I actually told the guy he could come back in if he wants because he was that cool. And the guy was like, "No, but I might come back another time." So I was like, "Oh," and that was it. We were cool. So apparently I threw out the leader of the triads and I wrestled him. And he was ranked in judo, and I have no rank, so that's pretty fucking impressive.
That's good.
He was definitely one of my better adversaries. I've encountered a couple people that trained in some capacity or had some like high-ranking criminal position, but he was probably my favorite because it was very hospitable at the end, and we left on good terms.
High-ranking
Criminal position, like fucking yard boss in jail. One of those guys.
No, like
Hammer.
Like we throw some dude out, and then next thing you know, like the leader of like the Albanian mob shows up and is like, "You guys got to apologize, or we have a friend with us that has a plane ticket to go back tomorrow, and he's gonna fuck you guys up." And we're just like, "All right, take a hike." But that's for another time. That's a story for another time.
Well, who did you apologize to, Sam?
Oh,
Yeah, I can't picture you apologizing at all unless you really did something that the person didn't.
the kid
deserve.
that I ankle picked off the table.
Oh
So, we'll set
yeah,
this one
I
up.
forgot about that. That was bad, man. I forgot about it. Me and Sam were working. It was a Friday night,
5 or 6 years ago.
and actually, I have a funny PS to that story afterwards. Probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Long time ago.
It's a Friday night, not too busy, and these kids jump up on the benches and start
Picnic
dancing.
table, yeah.
No, it was the benches.
Was it the bench?
By the picnic table, and they start dancing. We yell. We're a good distance away from them, but it's an empty bar, so we yell.
Late too.
Get down. They hear us because they look at us. Don't get down.
They start dancing more.
They take their shirts off and start like helicoptering them around their head. So now I'm walking towards them and I'm like, get down. They don't get down. So me and Sam approach them. I walk up to one of the kids. I'm like, dude, get the fuck down. Like, I'm yelling at him. Sam doesn't even yell. So they were up on a bench that was kind of like level to like our shoulders, I'd say.
Yeah.
When we're standing. So Sam just has to reach out and grabs this kid by his ankle and ankle picks him straight off the fucking bench. And the kid comes down and slams his back and head onto the floor. Now, I saw it out of my peripheral. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So the kid gets up and kind of starts like tussling with Sam, and Sam's pushing him. The kid I was yelling at takes off running, what I think is to jump in and like help his friend. So I grabbed the kid and start choking him.
At that point, we were both choking both those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may or may not have lost their consciousness. So they both are like kind of laying on the top of the stairs. I'm like, this does not look good. And then we had a regular. There's a regular there who is a little bit of a shit kicker himself, and he comes up and is like, guys, this does not look good. And we're like, all right, if he's telling us this doesn't look good, this is not good. Like, so whatever. They go down. They end up going down the stairs, and it turned out one of the kids was the cousin of an employee at the bar.
Like a second or a third cousin.
So
Doesn't not real.
So whatever. We
legally married, so whatever.
We end up basically, Sam goes down and apologizes because the kid's like, yo, we were going to get down. You didn't have to fucking grab me off the table like that, And Sam was like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, sorry. So we let them back in. Now, funny story. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. I was at the tap room. I was hanging out. I can't remember exactly who I was hanging out with. But we were sitting there bullshitting, and it was like just about like September towards the end of the year. And like, oh, you almost done over at the casino, whatever. I mean, shit.
It's fine.
You was over at the bar there, and I'm like, yeah. And one of the kids is like, yeah, you're a bouncer there, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you choked me one time there. I'm like, really? And I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't really do that unless, you deserve it or whatever. And he tells me the whole story. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember you. And I was like, yeah, sorry about that, bud. And I ended up buying him a beer, and he was real cool about it. But it was a funny little PS to that.
What is it about someone going after you, getting choked unconscious, and then apologizing for it later on at the tap room?
Dominance.
The exact same thing fucking happened. Kind of regular. He really hasn't been there that much.
Oh, that dildo?
Yeah. Got kicked out. Got tough. Going after Sam. Swung. Sam moved out of the way. Went to cock back again, and I put him down pretty quick.
I pushed him.
Yeah, Sam pushed him back, and I was just like, rear naked choke real quick on him, and he went out like that. He was still swinging though. I'm like, dude, stop. Stop. And then
yeah.
That's another one that I missed because I was shitting. I remember coming back.
With you at the tap room because I played flag football with that kid once.
Well, that's your first mistake.
Well, it was with FJ.
Yeah. Actually, so did I with FJ too.
But yeah, we were at tap room and the kid was like talking shit. He's like, "Who's that guy that threw me out?" And you're standing right.
I'm like standing right next to him.
And then he did the same thing to you. I think like around St. Patty's Day. He was like, "Who's that fucking skinny guy with the tattoos? Fucking threw me out. The guy's fucking bitch." Like, you were right next to me. Like, how does this kid not recognize? Like, you're gonna talk.
That
shit.
just goes to show
that
you.
Ossified.
Yeah. That just goes to show you that the state that people are in that we deal with on a fucking daily basis.
I am in that state.
You would think that shitting in the middle of the floor would illustrate that more than,
Being choked unconscious.
Yeah.
Yes, he went to go punch again. I threw him into the gate, into the fence, and then I threw him into you, and it was just
Then it was over.
nighty night.
I was gonna let him go, but he kept on swinging, and he was like a good 5 feet away from him. I'm like, stop swinging. All right.
Shoot first. Ask questions later. It's fine.
All right, bitch.
All right. Let's wrap this bitch up. It's a good note to go out on.
Okay.
All right. So, just a quick note for everyone that listens: don't fuck with bouncers in the bar.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, it's a zero-sum game. Like,
Yeah.
You might get shot off.
We might not need 10 people, but we're going to use 10 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
You know, none of us are overly large people, and we're bouncers for a reason. We're not the typical big meathead bouncers.
That's a lie. He's
humongous.
6'8". He's overly large.
And
Eric, that's not small either.
but that's what I'm saying. When you think
skinny
I'm right
though.
here.
when you think of a bouncer, you think of a big meathead.
Bulk Hogan. His
Yeah.
name is Bulk Hogan. He's big.
None of us are meatheads, but we all know how to handle it.
We're not getting paid enough to fight you. One fight a night, and that's it. And we're drunk sometimes, so we don't want to fight you